Good evening, this is News at 6. I'm Precious Mimshak.
And I'm Julliet Atiana. Our main headlines.
An unprecedented amount of rainfall hits Ho throughout the week with strong winds. We'll hear the latest from students who are being affected.
Electricity costs are expected to go up in the coming few weeks as the ECG announces plans for an upward adjustment. How will this affect students on campus?
Matriculation of first-year students is expected to take place tomorrow, Saturday the 19th of March 2022.
In other news, an unidentified body is found wrapped in a plastic bag under a bridge close to Mirage.
Hello and welcome to the News at 6. Let's begin with the updates that came 2 days ago from the office of the registrar, which says that the deadline for course registration has been extended from the 4th of March to the 31st of March 2022.
The statement also said students who are unable to register by then would have to defer their courses.
Now to today's news. It's about the devastating story of the rainfall causing so much damage throughout the week, as it has been raining on a daily basis this week, with Wednesday's rain being the strongest.
There are reports of damaged buildings and the destruction of billboards in town. Some students have also been affected as the rain enters their room and prevents others from going to lectures. Comfort caught up with some of the students and filed this report.
Ever since we entered the rainy season, Ho has encountered several heavy rainfalls just within the short period of time. It has come to the notice of the members of the town that it rains almost every blessed day and end up causing certain distractions to them, especially to the students in the various universities such as UHAS, HTU, and NTC. Some students who spoke to UHAS-based TV told us how these heavy rainfalls are affecting them.
Alright, but as for the rain, it really disturbs us, yes. Because in a room like this, anytime it rains, it gets flooded. So once I'm at lecture hall, I'll be thinking of the things I put down, whether like it's going to get wet or something like that. So even if I'm in class, I will not be concentrating. All my concentration is on my documents I've left in the hostel, whether they get wet or not, because of how the rain enters our room and gets the place flooded. Yeah, basically, I think that's how the rain is affecting me in a way. Whereas for lectures, it doesn't really affect me like that because I take bus in and I take bus out. So for the lectures there, I don't have any problem with that. Yeah, the road connection from my hostel to Ampole is really, really bad. So this means it's really bad. If you don't get a bus, you have to walk. And once, by the time you reach Police, you have to take care or you get a bus there. Almost like your whole body is dusty and things. I get what I'm trying to mean. So the road connection is really, really bad to our hostel.
When it rains, it doesn't really bother us. It just comes into our room sometimes. That is when it's not closed the liver place. But then when it's closed, it's not going to enter into your room. When it rains, it affects us coming for lectures because our main campus the road is not really good. So, and from my hostel to the pavement, the campus too, the road is not really good. So sometimes the keke drivers and the Uber drivers, they don't want to. Yeah, so it really affects us.
Reporting for UHAS-based TV, I am Akuba Mefia Comfort.
This rainfall problem is causing serious damage. What do you think?
I think so too, because if it's preventing students from going for lectures and it's that serious, then it's really, really something not to ignore but to consider. We can't change the climate though.
Exactly,
but
exactly.
we just pray that it subsides and activities go on well for students, especially for those whose rooms are being affected and belongings are being destroyed as well.
Exactly.
Now, the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, has announced the prices of electricity bills are expected to go up in the coming week. According to ECG, the expected increase has become necessary because of overhead costs, which affects power generation and distribution, including inflation.
So what does this mean for students who use hot plates, blenders, rice cookers, fridges and other electrical gadgets? Perpetual reports.
Recently, there has been some speculations across the country that there is likely to be an increment in the cost of electricity. However, upon an interaction with the continuing student of University of Health and Allied Sciences, precisely the whole campus on this issue, they voiced out that the increment of the electricity bill would really affect their academics as well as their financial status, as the cost of living in Ho is already expensive.
First and foremost, I think it's really going to affect us in every aspect of our lives in the university, because in UHAS, we have 3 campuses, and then we come to PEM sites, we go to Trafalgar, we go to Dave, and then we pay money for transportation. So if electricity bills are going to be increased too, it's going to be a big issue, because even if you go and buy electricity for 50 cedis, prepaid, there are some charges they deduct from it, and if they are going to increase it too, I think it's really going to affect our finances and maybe distort our studies in a way, because you are always thinking there's increments and all those kind of things, so it's really going to affect us.
As a student, we use electricity so much, we cannot do without electricity. But here is the case, we depend on our parents. So many cases that we have to tell our parents to help us. But if there should be increment on electricity bill, it's going to affect with the student and the parents, because they may not be able to give us the enough money to afford. Hence, we also need it. In our learning, in everything we do, we need this electricity. So if they can consider with the student and then withdraw back that increment, because it's going to affect us so much. And my point of view is that they should do something about it for the student, and then there shouldn't be no increment, because it's going to affect us and we cannot afford to. Thank you.
They also said that they plead with the government of Ghana to ensure that there is no increment in the cost of electricity, because if there is an increment in the cost of electricity, it would be very cumbersome for them. I'm Aban Johnson Perpetual, reporting for UHAS-based CV. Thank you.
The stress of IA's assignments and presentations keep compounding as Utah comes back with a strong force to catch up with the missed times.
Our reporter, Selena, caught up with some students on their coping mechanisms throughout this period and filed this report.
Stress of IA's assignment, quizzes and presentation is back again after nearly 2 months of no activity on campus, while students are back to doing presentations and IAs. Some say it is more stressful. UHAS-based TV caught up with a couple of students and asked them how they are coping and what they are doing to prevent themselves from being burned out.
It's a whole lot. There's the stress, as you mentioned, all right. But I think everyone has his or her way of coping with stress. For me, it's just that they'll give you all that you have to go and learn. Set your time for yourself and then pick one at a time. If you try and then do it all at once, you might break down. All the stress is there. There are times that you feel like you have to give up, but well, you just have to look through, sit down, set your timetable well, and then you'll be able to cope with whatever is going on.
Well, I foresaw this coming, so I adequately prepared towards that, because the strike lasted for quite a long period of time, and I think I used that as an opportunity to cover most of the things that were taught before the strike commenced. So for me, it's not much of a surprise that I'm having all this academic load. However, I think that if you are really somebody who is strategic, you can really pass through. It's normal, and it's something that happens to us every day, so we are used to it.
In other news, an unidentified man has been found dead under the bridge en route to the University of Health and Allied Sciences Road in the Hill municipality.
The man was found wrapped in black polythene and tied with a sellotape. According to sources, the body of the man was believed to have been dumped under the bridge by unknown assailants.
2 lifeless bodies have been found at separate locations in Ho, the Volta regional capital, this week. According to the information gathered by Volta Online, the first body was that of a man found on a basketball court near a student's hostel behind Poly on Wednesday. The body was said to be naked with visible bruises, suspected to be from a possible mob attack. A source familiar with the situation told Volta Online the deceased has been identified as a resident of a nearby community but not a student. The second body was found under a bridge on the Mirage Yuhas Road, wrapped in a black poly bag, but its exact gender was not immediately identified. Some eyewitnesses who chanced on the body on Thursday told Volta Online they were drawn to the scene by a stench emanating from the decomposing body. They believe the body might have been transported from a distance and dumped at the location earlier in the week. When contacted, the Home Municipal Chief Executive, Mr. Divine Bosson, confirmed both incidences but said they were being investigated by the security agencies. The 2 bodies have been deposited at the morgue for preservation while investigation continues. Reporting for UHAS-based TV, I am Prince Emmanuel D.
Now, matriculation is the process of formally becoming a student at a university or college. It's said that you are not a part of the university or college until you have been matriculated into it.
Here at the University of Health and Allied Sciences, matriculation is taking place tomorrow at the CD Auditorium. Fidelia has more on this report.
Another exciting and important event in the institution is happening live this Saturday. It's the 2022 matriculation for freshmen. You might be wondering what this program is all about. It's the process of formally becoming a student at a university or college. It's a formal ceremony in which the to-be students are introduced to the activities, mission, and vision of the university. The school authorities as well as the rules and regulations governing the university are made known to them. And after they've been well informed of everything they have to know about the school, they are made to take an oath to abide by all the rules and regulations. UHAS is holding its 10th matriculation on the 19th of March 2022. Last year's matriculation was held online, unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which demanded we kept social distances to prevent the spread of the disease. But fortunately, this year it's happening live in the CD Auditorium located at the UHAS campus at Soccer Day this very Saturday. Congratulations to all the first-year students, and we warmly welcome them to our noble University of Health and Allied Sciences. Reporting from UHAS-based TV, I'm Fidelia.
A big congratulations to all the freshers from the UHAS-based TV team.
We wish them all the best of luck as they begin a new journey. That is how we end today's edition of News at 6. Follow us on Facebook at UHAS-based TV for news updates.
Follow us on Twitter for breaking news alerts on campus and subscribe to the UHAS-based TV on YouTube. Thank you for watching and do enjoy your weekend.